Hey everybody, welcome back to the Daily Bern. This is the war room of the political revolution. What this is a daily inspirational, motivational show that we do to motivate and inspire those of us that are out there fighting every day in this political revolution. So please like and share, get this out as far as you can, and interact in the show. Smash the like buttons, comment. Any interaction in the show helps us do better and get out in the algorithm to more viewers so more people will see the show. So do any of that, I'd really appreciate it. But thanks for coming back to the Daily Bern. I'm your host, Sean Yankee, and today I'm just going to jump in. I am so excited about tomorrow's Daily Bern. Tomorrow, for those of you who don't know, is going to be a special episode of the Daily Bern. It's going to be our 100th episode, and I've been planning it all week, so I'm real excited about that one, and I'm ready to film that one. So I've had writer's block on this one, and I had trouble getting going. So what I'll talk about is basically what's been going on um, with me today on Facebook. I have been arguing with someone who um, I talk a lot about these quitters and dissenters that I stay in their feed, right? So this is one of those people, and he doesn't do live videos like I do, but he does have a very large following, and a lot of people listen to him. So I tend to get in his feed from time to time. This particular post was about how Bernie sold us out, right? This person firmly believes that Bernie sold us out and that when Bernie didn't fall on his sword in 2016, he screwed us over. Those of us that supported him, donated to him, fought for him, he screwed us. They screwed us all over. That's what this person believes. And they want to know, well, why would you fight for him again after he turned his back on you? Well, I'm not getting anywhere with him, but that's again my point. Yesterday I was talking about how we are going to get a lot more with inspiration versus confrontation. I think we are going to find that that works a lot better to inspire people. I mean, we are the front runners. We are winning. The media is not spinning it that way, but we know that that's a fact. So let's act like it, and that confidence will radiate and it will inspire other people. People are sheep, you know. I think most people know that, you know, in the grand scale. Again, when I say we or they or anything like that, I'm always talking grand scale, big picture. Not you or me, but people in general. It's kind of like that speech in Men in Black where Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith are sitting on the park bench and Will Smith's like, why don't you just tell people? People are smart. They could get it. No, as a group, people are stupid. You know, I don't remember exactly what Tommy Lee Jones's character says back to Will Smith, but it's something along those lines. As a group, people are panicky, stupid animals. We and historically it's proven. We don't do well as a group. We don't have a good track record as a group, and you know I'm bumming myself out, but I'll get back to why here in a minute. These people think that Bernie should have saved us, and this person in particular thinks that Bernie should have saved us, and they want to know why would you support him when he didn't fall on his sword? And what was I getting? See, I didn't write this. I just jumped in. But I'm trying to figure out what I'm looking to say here. I'm not getting anywhere in his feed with him, but that's not why I'm there. I'm there to sprinkle, right? Just to sprinkle truth. And I've said what I'm gonna say on that feed, right? But right now I'll get into it for you guys. So I don't know if we're all on the same page. There's a lot of people that I see here every day, right? So I would consider you to be regulars. And I don't know if we're all on the same page, and I may upset some of you, but um, here's what I think would have happened. Let's say, let's say Bernie stormed out of the convention hall, right? Just so stormed out, grabbed Jill Stein's microphone and said, "You know what, guys? We're going independent. We're going third party. They're rigging it in there, and I'm not going to put up with it." Now we're going to live in reality for a second. Would that have worked? Would that have worked? Ask yourself, really ask yourself, would that have worked? And then think about what you would have been up against. All right. The media the mainstream media in this country, which I think even the most skeptical person has to admit is very powerful. The media would turn on Bernie Sanders with a ferocity that you have never seen. He'd be crazy Bernie inside of an hour on every channel. Sore loser, baby. They'd rip him to shreds. Now, let's say that they weren't effective. Let's say we get through that barricade, right? We get around that. We're getting momentum. We're doing really well. They'd kill him. They'd kill him. There is no scenario in which Bernie takes that stand that you wanted him to take that ends with Bernie Sanders being president. This is the way that it has to happen. This can only happen one way. You know, John F. Kennedy said that the revolution will be peaceful or it will be violent. If peaceful revolution is made impossible, then violent revolution will become inevitable. This has to happen. But it can only happen in this way politically, the way we're doing it. All right? See, with this momentum and doing it this way and getting the people involved, what Bernie is really doing is making it impossible to rig. All right? See, I'm preaching to the choir a lot. A lot of you guys understand what Bernie's doing, but these people don't. They really don't. They all day, well, not all day, but every day, I sit here on this show and I talk about how this is not about Bernie, this is about us, right? All he keeps wanting to say to me, they do this. That's why I only said so much in the conversation to begin with. I just made my point and left. But they want Bernie to save us. Like, they're mad that he didn't. You know, they're mad that he didn't call out the election rigging, that he pushed the Russia narrative. They're mad that he backed Hillary. They're mad about all of that. But I don't think they're looking at the big picture. Bernie is doing all that Bernie can do. Bernie is keeping himself in a position to be able to run for president and staying in a position where he can teach us how to make that happen. And making that happen is more than making Bernie Sanders president. Nobody, this is what I said to them. Nobody believes that. Nobody believes Bernie Sanders is going to save us. You don't believe it, and I don't believe it. And no one should believe it, because no one can save us. We have to do this ourselves. This is our fight. Bernie Sanders is just our political candidate. He's a fantastic candidate. Really couldn't ask for a better candidate. Very happy with Bernie. And I support what he supports for the most part. I agree with him most of the time. But he is only one man, and he can't do any of this unless we are there fighting beside him. We have to do this. We have to take ownership and realize that this is our job. So I'm all over the place, and I apologize. I usually write these out. But to try and make some kind of a point here, I'm arguing with these people, and I can see first that they're very angry with Bernie, right? They're very angry. They're very hurt still. And they're blaming that on Bernie, who is just as much of a victim of all that happened as you or I. All right. And he just happens to be the one that's trying to keep himself in a position where he can still help us. He can't do anything from the sidelines. Let's say, okay, let's play out the scenario a little further. So let's say they just start destroying him in the media, and we lose, which we would have lost. We're going to go with the scenario where Bernie lives. So they make him look like crazy Bernie, and they ruin his political career, and he ends up being a commentator on RT with Jesse Ventura, right? Can he win now? Or is he on the sidelines with Jesse Ventura and Ron Paul telling everybody how fucked we are, but not being able to do anything about it, or to guide us, or to lead us, or anything? He's ineffectual. When he bites the bullet, when he backs Hillary, when he does everything he said he would do, And then he becomes Democrat outreach chair. He's on TV every day educating everyone. And yeah, he said the Russia stuff. He pushed the Russia stuff. I don't care. I don't have to agree with that man all the time. And I believe that he pushed the Russia thing to keep the Democratic outreach chair position, which allowed him to reach a large audience of people, which is very important. That's my theory. Until I sit down with the man, I'm not going to make an assessment on the situation. There is a lot of variables and reasons why he might have been doing that. But I think mine's probably close to right. Because when you think about it, Bernie has to play to everyone. Bernie's a politician. We're activists. We can do whatever we want. We can take the moral high ground every time. Bernie has to do things sometimes and play politics. So I don't question or expect to understand every move the man makes. I feel like I agree with him enough of the time. And you got to have a representative, and we couldn't ask for a better one. So, you know, but the main thing that they don't get, because they just say it over and over again, like, he screwed us over. He didn't save us. How do you think he's going to get, he won't be able to get anything done? It's not Bernie. We have to understand that to make this democracy work, we have to participate in it. Informed, active citizens is what this is going to take. We have to stay that way, to get involved. We don't stop running for school board. We don't stop running for local and state positions. We don't stop trying to get Bernie Kratz elected to Congress and the Senate. We don't stop everything because Bernie got elected. This is a political revolution. These aren't branding techniques. Not me, us, and the political revolution, all of that stuff. It's not just words. That is what this means, is what we are doing. Now, if you would like to help, I include a link in the description of every Daily Bern to berniesanders.com. Please go there and see if there's any way that you can volunteer. There's close to 3 million people volunteering to help get Bernie elected president. Or donate any amount that you can. But while you're there, get you a bumper sticker. Just putting a bumper sticker on your car, you're driving around, you're helping the campaign just by driving around like normal. And little things like that really do make a big difference. You would be amazed. So try that out. Get you a bumper sticker. Because that thing is really a conversation starter. I cannot tell you how many conversations and opportunities that bumper sticker has given me in the just month and a half that I've had it on my car. You know, just random people. Hey, is that your Bernie sticker? And it gets them excited. I know I get inspired when I see anything Bernie. If I see a yard sign, a bumper sticker, I'm like a little kid playing slug bug. I get excited right away and start pointing at him, freaking out. You know, it's a show of support. Those gestures, they may seem small. They mean a lot. They mean more than you know. And the bumper sticker idea, I push that so hard. I push that every day. That is in that plug every day. And the reason is it's a $5 investment and it works. Like I said, get results from that bumper sticker and doing nothing other than what I was going to do anyway. Driving to work, driving to the store, driving wherever I go. And it's a conversation starter and people like seeing that stuff. And that's how we grow our movement. I believe that the way we grow our movement is we inspire people. We inspire them. We start making the change that we want to see in the world right now. We don't wait, What are we waiting on? We can start doing this right now, and just focus on you. Realize that you are on the winning team. We are winning. We have the momentum to win this. We're doing all the right things. Just all we got to do is keep going. All we got to do is stay strong. All we got to do is be vigilant. That's it. At this point, this is ours. This is ours to mess up. I almost cussed there. I'm really proud of myself that I didn't. The other day I got upset and I dropped like 5 F-bombs during the and I don't like to cuss during this. I look at this as volunteering. This is my way of doing my part. And that's what it's going to take, is millions of people doing all they can, whatever that may be. I'm not saying go start your own show. I don't need the competition, but you got a skill, you've got a gift, everyone does. So find a way to use your gift towards the revolution. Find what you can put in and what you can do, and just make sure you're doing that every day, even when you don't feel like it. Whatever you decide that's going to be, you know, this is going to be what I do for the revolution, and I'm going to do it consistently. Pick that, stick with it, make that commitment, and then there'll be days when you don't want to do it, and on those days, push through. Have the discipline to be like, no, I want this. And this will not happen if I don't do what needs to happen to make it happen. So I am going to get up and I am going to do that. You've got to decide that you want it. And what we want here is big. What we're asking for, these are big things. Healthcare for all, a living wage, the right to dignity in this country. These are very big things. But they're also very common things all around the world. And they're also very doable things. But we can't have them and we can't get them until we stand united and demand it. Because that is what it takes. That is what it takes to make real change happen. Millions of people standing united and demanding it. And what that's going to take is millions of us understanding and realizing that this is our fight. That we have to do this. If we don't do this, it don't get done. We have to beat them. The establishment can't be beat by any one man, any one woman, any one entity. The people have to do it. They have to stand united by the millions. That's the only way it works. No hero is coming to save the day. And nobody in this room for sure, watching this show right now, and any Bernie supporter that listens to Bernie speak, thinks that Bernie's going to save the day for us, that he's going to go in there and do any of this on his own. We all understand that we have to do this. And that's what's beautiful about this movement. And when enough of us understand that, and enough of us own this, and realize and make the commitment to put in the work, we'll be unstoppable. There'll be nothing they can do, and we can make this change happen. Not Bernie, us. This is our fight. We do this. So as far as this scattered all over the place monologue goes, and hopefully there was something of value and entertainment in that, but I had to push through. I'm sitting here staring at a cursor on a screen, and I got to get going. I got other things I got to do. I got to make myself do it. So sometimes I just do that. I just rip it off like a band-aid. I hit record and just start talking. And I've been arguing with these people, and that seems to be the main thing that they're hung up on, is they're accusing you of it, but they're the ones with a hero complex. They thought Bernie was going to save the day. Bernie can't save the day. Nobody can. We have to do this. But thanks again, everyone, for coming. And if you shared, thank you so much. That helps out more than you know. And this message needs to spread and get out there. So thank you very much. Real quick, I want to get into a few comments from yesterday's burn, so let's look at those. Royce was here, and he said, my local with our health and welfare plan is contributed to out of our annual raise. The money in our program is ours. So I know Medicare for all would be cheaper, and that means the difference would go back on our checks, and that's a win-win. So what he's referring to is I was talking about how Bernie has added a clause to his Medicare for all plan that requires employers to pass the savings on from Medicare for all, because they're going to save a ton of money not having to supply health insurance to their employees. To pass that savings on to their employees is a new requirement in Bernie's Medicare for all bill. So that's what Royce was talking about, that he's confident as a union member that the money would be reinvested, and he was talking about also that not me, us, and what that means. What I was speaking about that a little bit ago, actually, that it's going to take all of us after the election to fight for change. That is the only way this happens. We have to do this. And then Alyssa and Rob were here, and they both commented on the new background. I like the red. I wanted blue. I almost got blue, but I didn't like any of the blue that they had to choose from. And, the red It reminds me more of a stage curtain, but I like it. I think it really brightens up the show. I've changed nothing with lighting yet. So this is just from having a different background, and I think it makes it look a lot better. I almost waited to debut it tomorrow on the 100th episode, the new background, but I can't wait for nothing. I'm like a little spoiled child. I have to go ahead and get into it. I want to find out what's in the package. I can't wait till Christmas. So I had to go ahead and put it up. But that's a perfect opportunity to bring this up. Again, tomorrow is the 100th episode of the Daily Bern. So be here for the premiere at 9:30 a.m. And I've got a lot of stuff planned for you guys. I've been working on this one all week long. So it's going to be a good burn tomorrow. And it's going to be our 100th episode. And we're going to have a little celebration. So come by for that. Real quick, let's get into the news. I picked out some news stories for you. So let's head on over to the newsroom. The next piece that I'm going to get into today is a hit piece from Politico, and it has to do with Bernie's plan to save journalism. Some of you know that Bernie released a plan that would reform journalism. That, as we all know, journalism has been bought out. There is no such thing as journalism anymore. And in his release, he brought up things like how real journalism exposed Watergate. It did all kinds of things. It's the fourth wall of our government. We need real journalism, real reporting in this country. And this was his plan to reform it. Well, all they do is just rip it apart. I mean, paragraph after paragraph here just rips Bernie's plan apart. But that is exactly what I would expect from an establishment shill piece like Politico. You know, this controlled narrative needs to stop. It's ridiculous. And they have an agenda against Bernie Sanders. The media clearly does, and they're in denial about it. They lie about it all the time, but it clearly exists. And the media does need to be reformed massively. It honestly needs to be destroyed and built back up from the ground up. Okay, this last thing that I'm going to talk about here. This site, The Big Lead, they at least didn't mock him relentlessly over this clip. But Bernie is getting ripped apart over a clip of him hitting a speed bag, okay? Now, the photo, and it turned out great. I saw it first on Instagram, and they were staging a photo, but he's hitting a heavy bag, and I'm just going to play it for you. This site is a mess. Pop-ups everywhere. Whoops. See, so they're clowning him. It's all over the place on Twitter, and everyone's sharing it. This was for a picture. You see the photographer standing there? They're staging a picture. You know, there are a lot of moments in every photo shoot that people don't want people to see. You know, Bernie's 77 years old. You ever seen him play basketball? He's in great shape for a 77-year-old man. And honestly, that bob, that wasn't graceful, but the reflexes were there. Now, come on. The bag didn't make contact, but that was the news that I wanted to get in with you guys today. And real quick, we're going to get into Bernie events. The site that I follow hasn't announced where the campaign's going to go next. But if you want to stay up to date with Bernie events, text Bernie to 67760. That will enroll you in the texting program. And volunteers like me that do the texting will send you out information on events that are near you or relevant to you, or any news to the revolution that is relevant. Or get the Bern app. That's another great way to stay in touch with the campaign. You can get that anywhere you can get a phone app. Um, those are both great ways to stay in touch with what's going on in the campaign, or watch the Daily Bern. We do Bernie events every day here. But that's what's going on with the campaign. And thanks you guys again for coming and supporting the show. We've knocked out another episode of the Daily Bern, number 99 in the bag. Make sure you're here tomorrow for episode 100. It's going to be a really great episode. I put a lot of work into it. We're going to have a little celebration to celebrate 100 of these. Can you believe that after tomorrow we will have done 100 episodes of the Daily Bern? I can't. I can't believe that. I started this show about 3 or 4 months ago, and just jumped in like I do everything. And just because I wanted there to be a show like this, I wanted there to be a place where we could come and someone was telling you the truth, but also telling you that you're on the right path, that what we were doing is the right thing, that this is how change takes place. And will it be hard? Yes, it will be very hard. But if we keep fighting and we do all the work, we can win. There needed to be a voice saying that. There was plenty of voices saying that it's rigged up. We all know that the establishment media is corrupt and controlled. We all know that. And that we're up against all of this. There were people out there saying what we're up against, but there was nobody out there saying and reinforcing this is how you fight that, except Bernie. So I don't think I'm anywhere near a Bernie Sanders. I don't have that kind of influence, but I did little live feeds, I did little videos, and I have experience speaking. I'm comfortable speaking, so I figured I could do this. I want to see a positive show out there for us fighting in this movement and that reinforces that we need a positive mindset and we need to believe in ourselves and we need to do the work and move forward and do all we can and we can win. And so I created it. And thank you guys so much for watching each day and supporting the show and sharing it and all that you do. I really appreciate it because otherwise I would just be talking to myself. Uh, and I don't want that. I want this to get out. I want to help people. I want to help inspire people. And I think, like I said earlier, that's the way we're going to grow our movement. That's how we're going to reach that tipping point is by inspiring people, just acting like the front runners, acting like winners. We are winning. People like to be on the winning team. You know, Humans are pack animals, they're herd animals, and they follow what's popular. They want to win, you know. And that's why once we win, once we elect Bernie, we're going to open the floodgates. The momentum at that point will make this change happen. That's what's going to make this change happen. Bernie doesn't do this. We do. Everyone that watches this show I know understands that because it's almost all I talk about. But some people don't, and we just need enough people to get that across to enough people that to help them to understand that Bernie's not a hero. Electing Bernie doesn't do this. We do this. What he's doing is teaching us and showing us and providing us the right path and the right plan and how to do it. We have to do it though. That's that's the key part. We do this. Not Bernie, us. We do this. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys so much, and I really appreciate it. Make sure you're here tomorrow. Big 100th episode of the Daily Bern tomorrow. So I will see you guys at 9:30 a.m. tomorrow for the 100th episode of the Daily Bern. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.